On June 25th, 2009, the world lost the king of pop. But what if everything you thought you knew about Michael Jackson was carefully orchestrated? What if behind the glittering glove and moonwalk was a man living a double life so complex that even his closest friends barely scratched the surface? The truth about Michael Jackson isn't just shocking, it's been hidden in plain sight for decades. The transformation that captivated and confused the world wasn't what anyone thought it was. In the early 1980s, Michael Jackson began changing before our eyes, but the real story behind his appearance has been buried under years of speculation and gossip. Jackson suffered from vitiligo, a condition that destroys pigment-producing cells, leaving white patches across the skin. But here's what nobody talks about. He also had lupus, an autoimmune disease that made his skin incredibly sensitive to sunlight. The glove wasn't just a fashion statement, it was covering the discolored patches on his hands that started appearing in 1983. Dr. Arnold Klein, his dermatologist, later revealed that Michael's condition was so severe that he had to use heavy makeup and eventually underwent depigmentation treatments to even out his skin tone. The irony? The man accused of wanting to become white was actually trying to manage a medical condition that was destroying his natural pigmentation. But the plastic surgeries were different. Former associates claim he became addicted to the procedures after breaking his nose during a dance routine. Each surgery led to another, creating a cycle that even his family couldn't stop. His sister, LaToya, later admitted they staged multiple interventions, but Michael would disappear for weeks, returning with new changes to his face. But that wasn't the whole story. The real secrets were hidden behind the gates of Neverland Ranch. Neverland wasn't just an amusement park. It was a 2,700-acre fortress designed to keep the world out and Michael's secrets in. Former employees revealed that the ranch had hidden rooms, secret passages, and a sophisticated alarm system that would alert Michael whenever someone was approaching the main house. But what was he hiding? Wade Robson, before his later accusations, described rooms filled with mannequins dressed as children and hallways lined with paintings of young boys. The ranch employed over 40 security guards, not just for protection, but to monitor who came and went. One of the most disturbing revelations came from a former security chief who claimed there were areas of Neverland that even longtime staff were forbidden to enter. These spaces, accessible only through hidden doors, contained what he described as Michael's most private collections. The train station on the property wasn't just decorative, it housed a fully functional bedroom and entertainment area where Michael would retreat for days at a time. Neighbors reported seeing helicopters landing at odd hours, bringing mysterious visitors who would stay for just a few hours before disappearing again. The ranch's phone system was allegedly monitored, and former employees signed NDAs so restrictive that many still refuse to speak publicly today. What happened in those forbidden areas? The truth remains locked away with those who were there. And what happened next would shock everyone who thought they knew about Michael's family life. The paternity questions surrounding Michael's children have been Hollywood's worst-kept secret for years. Prince, Paris, and Biggie, none of them share Michael's DNA according to multiple sources close to the family. Dr. Arnold Klein, Michael's dermatologist, strongly hinted that he was the biological father of at least 2 of the children. Klein had been providing Michael with fertility treatments and had a close relationship with Debbie Rowe, the children's mother. Paris Jackson's striking resemblance to Klein didn't go unnoticed by those in Michael's inner circle. But there's a 4th child that almost nobody talks about. Omer Badi, a Norwegian dancer who Michael claimed was just a family friend, lived at Neverland for years and was treated like a son. Multiple witnesses say Michael introduced Omer as his child to close friends, and the physical resemblance is undeniable. After Michael's passing, Omer was reportedly promised a significant inheritance, but the Jackson family quickly distanced themselves from him. Why? Some insiders believe Omer is the only child that might actually be Michael's biological son, but there's a 4th child that almost nobody talks about. Omer Badi, a Norwegian dancer who Michael claimed was just a family friend, lived at Neverland for years and was treated like a son. Multiple witnesses say Michael introduced Omer as his child to close friends, and the physical resemblance is undeniable. After Michael's passing, Omer was reportedly promised a significant inheritance, but the Jackson family quickly distanced themselves from him. Why? Some insiders believe Omer is the only child that might actually be Michael's biological son, The most explosive claim comes from a former Neverland employee who alleges there are sealed paternity tests locked away in the family's legal files. These tests, if they exist, could rewrite everything we know about Michael's legacy. The Jackson family has never addressed these allegations directly, leading to even more speculation about what they're protecting. These weren't the only relationships Michael kept hidden from public view, but the secrets Michael was desperately trying to hide went far deeper than anyone imagined. Michael Jackson's dependency on prescription medications wasn't just about managing pain, it was about managing reality itself. Dr. Conrad Murray wasn't the first doctor to provide Michael with dangerous combinations of drugs. For over a decade, Michael had been doctor shopping, using multiple physicians to obtain cocktails of sedatives, painkillers, and anesthetics that would have been fatal to most people. Former nurse Sherilyn Lee revealed that Michael begged her for propofol, the anesthetic that eventually ended his life, months before his death. He called it his milk and claimed it was the only thing that allowed him to sleep. But Michael wasn't just addicted to propofol. He was taking Demerol, Ativan, lorazepam, and dozens of other medications simultaneously. His tolerance had become so extreme that doses that should have been lethal barely affected him. The most chilling revelation came from his longtime friend Uri Geller, who claimed Michael called him just weeks before his death, speaking incoherently and admitting he was in trouble. Security footage from Michael's final months allegedly shows him stumbling through his home, talking to people who weren't there, and exhibiting behavior consistent with severe drug-induced psychosis. Dr. Murray later claimed that Michael's addiction was so severe that he would threaten suicide if he didn't get his medications. The night Michael died, Murray said he had been trying to wean him off propofol, but Michael's withdrawal symptoms were so intense that he begged for just a little to help him sleep. That little dose, combined with everything else in his system, stopped his heart forever. But the drugs were just masking a deeper pain that traced back to the accusations that destroyed his world. The 1993 allegations changed Michael Jackson forever, but what really happened behind closed doors remains one of Hollywood's darkest mysteries. Evan Chandler, the father who accused Michael of inappropriate behavior with his son Jordan, had been struggling financially and allegedly saw an opportunity. Phone recordings later surfaced where Chandler could be heard discussing plans to destroy Michael's career if he didn't pay up. The $23 million settlement wasn't an admission of guilt, it was Michael's attempt to make the nightmare disappear. But paying the money only made things worse. It set a precedent that made Michael a target for every opportunist who saw dollar signs. The 2005 trial with the Arvizo family was even more damaging. Even though Michael was acquitted on all charges, the trial destroyed his reputation and his spirit. Recent documentaries like Leaving Neverland have reignited these controversies, with Wade Robson and James Safechuck making detailed accusations years after Michael's death. But their stories have inconsistencies that raise serious questions. Robson defended Michael for years, even testifying in his favor during the 2005 trial, only changing his story when his career stalled and he needed money. The most disturbing aspect isn't the accusations themselves, it's how they were used as weapons by people seeking profit. Michael's vulnerability made him an easy target, and the media frenzy that surrounded each allegation only made things worse. Whether he was guilty or innocent, the accusations became a prison that he could never escape. And that prison may have ultimately led to the final conspiracy that ended everything. Michael Jackson's death wasn't sudden. It was the culmination of months of increasingly desperate behavior that his inner circle tried desperately to hide. AEG Live executives knew Michael was in no condition to perform the planned comeback concerts, but they had too much money invested to pull out. Leaked emails revealed that company executives discussed Michael's deteriorating condition, but decided to push forward anyway. Kenny Ortega, the show's director, sent panicked emails to AEG executives describing Michael as lost, cold, and afraid during rehearsals. Michael would show up hours late, forget lyrics to songs he'd performed thousands of times, and sometimes couldn't remember where he was. But instead of getting him help, they hired Dr. Murray to keep him functioning long enough to fulfill his contract obligations. The night Michael died, there are still unanswered questions about what really happened. Dr. Murray's timeline doesn't add up, and phone records show he made several calls before supposedly discovering Michael wasn't breathing. Some investigators believe Murray was covering up evidence or protecting someone else involved in Michael's care. The Conrad Murray trial revealed only part of the story. The rest died with Michael. Perhaps most chilling are the allegations that Michael knew he was going to die. Multiple sources claim he made statements in his final weeks suggesting he believed someone was trying to harm him. His final rehearsal performance of Earth Song was captured on video, and watching it now feels like a goodbye. Michael seemed to know it would be his last time on stage. The King of Pop died alone in his bedroom, surrounded by the medications that had become his prison. But the secrets he took to his grave continue to haunt everyone who knew the real Michael Jackson. So who was Michael Jackson really? Was he the innocent victim of a media witch hunt? Or was there truth to the darker allegations that followed him? The man who gave us Thriller and the Moonwalk was also someone who lived behind masks, both literal and metaphorical. His transformation from the young boy in the Jackson 5 to the mysterious figure who died at 50 was more than just physical. It was a complete reinvention that may have ultimately consumed him. The legacy Michael left behind is complicated. His music will live forever, but the questions about his personal life create a shadow that grows longer with each passing year. New allegations continue to surface. New documentaries promise to reveal the truth, and the Jackson estate continues to fight battles in courtrooms around the world. Perhaps that's fitting for a man who spent his entire adult life running from reality. The real tragedy isn't just that Michael Jackson died too young, it's that we may never know who he really was beneath all the secrets, lies, and carefully constructed mysteries. The King of Pop became the master of illusion, and his greatest trick was making sure the truth died with him. What do you think? Was Michael Jackson a misunderstood genius destroyed by false accusations? Or was there something darker hidden behind the glittering facade? The evidence points in multiple directions, and maybe that's exactly how Michael wanted it.